Hello everybody, today I'll be showing you how to program a simple restaurant bill by using C++. So here we go. We'll be using the compiler called Turbo C++, which is made back in the 90s, and that's the reason why we are not going to be having high quality graphics on this restaurant bill. Um, when I made this program, I had just started learning C++, and that's the reason I've not used much of functions, data structures, or pointers. Um, so before I go through the code, let me show you the program itself, what it does, so that I build in a bit of enthusiasm before you get into the actual coding. So here we go. So here's where we need to first enter the serial number of the meal we've taken. Let's say we've taken a Chinese meal, so we take the serial number 3. And now we need to enter the number of meals we've taken. Let's say we've taken 5 of them. Now we enter the serial number of the beverage we chose. Let's say we took fruit juice, which is 3. And how many did we take? Let's say we took 3 of them. Now we choose the dessert we purchased. Let's say we took a twister, which is serial number 2. And now we enter the number of desserts we purchased. Let's say we took 7 of them. So here's the final bill we get, which shows which meal we've taken, which dish we've taken, how many, the quantity of how much we've taken, the cost of each of them, and the total of it. So and the grand total too, with the real description in the right bottom. So this is the bill we are going to get in the end of the program. So let's see how we made it. So these are the local variables. Again, I have not taken any functions, so we've done all the programming right in the main function itself. There's no other function other than the main one. So here are the variables. ME stands for the meal, and similar and consequently even cost M stands for the cost of the meal. QTYM stands for the quantity of meals. TOTM is the total amount of that particular meal. And similarly, we've used the same kind of variables for beverages as well as desserts like BE and DE. So here's the first page, the first screen we're going to have, which is Welcome to Gyan's Cafe. Here's a display of all the dishes with their serial numbers and their costs given there. And since we didn't use pointers, we didn't store the value of the particular dish with using a string variable. We instead simply used an integer variable and stored, the serial number of South Indian was 1. So if the user entered the value 1, the cost of the meal would be 40 rupees, which is the cost of the South Indian meal. So that's what we did here. And then we ask the customer to input quantity of that particular meal he's taken, and then we do basic math by multiplying the cost of that particular meal into the quantity of how much he's taken. After we do that, we clear the screen to make space for the next screen, which asks, which takes the input of the beverage the customer had taken. The beverages are tea, coffee, and fruit juice, and we do the same kind of if statements over here. If you see, we've done a lot of if statements over here, like seriously a lot of if statements. Such kind of coding is called as hard coding, and it's quite not used by high level programmers. I had done this because it was my initial stages of C++ programming. If I had used functions and data structures, this program would be 70% lesser than what it is right now. So that is the beauty of library functions of any programming language. So back to the coding over here. So finally, we do the same thing over here. We take the total and we take the total of it by multiplying the cost and the quantity, and then we clear the screen for the third screen, which now takes the input again for the dessert. The whole same thing happens again, and we do the same big lines of coding. And finally, the last screen, which shows the bill of after taking all the input from from the customer. Uh, South Indian meal. If the user had entered this is going to happen. If the user had entered that's going to happen. The entire thing is put in here. I'm going to keep this video short though. And finally, you get the grand total. We save that variable as GT. And finally, a little description over here. So I'm going to show the program once again. So let's say we took a South Indian meal this time. Let's say we took 8 of them. Let's say we took a tea this time. 6 of them. And then finally for dessert, let's say we took an ice cream sundae, which is just one. So here's a bill, 420 rupees. So this is a program I made at my initial days of C++. So I hope you got to learn something from it. Majorly, the major learning I think you can take from this is to not do a lot of hard coding when you have a big problem to solve. So other than that, if you still learn things, I'm really glad you did. I hope you have a great future ahead. Thank you so much.